Hey y'all, welcome to Blended and Buried, where we blend makeup and we blend the truth while giving a voice to those buried by the system. Today's case, I'm not gonna lie y'all, it hurts me, it infuriates me, and it deserves to be heard. This is the case of Kawan Bobby Charles, a 15-year-old boy who was alive, vibrant, full of life until he vanished, and he was found days later with his face unrecognizable. Let's get into it. And the way the system handled this, cold, dismissive, almost like his life didn't matter. It was Friday, October 30th of 2020. Bobby was staying with his dad in Baldwin, Louisiana. Just a regular afternoon until Janet Irvin and her 17-year-old son came to pick him up. Without permission, without informing his dad, Bobby left. By the time Bobby's dad realized that he was missing, it was already too late. By the time Bobby's dad realized that he was missing, it was already too late. He contacted the police to inform them that his son was gone. And you know what they said? He probably went to a football game. There was no Amber Alert, no sense of urgency, only assumptions, it sounds like to me. And this is already red flag number one for me. The woman who he left with and her son, Janet Irving, they're tight-lipped. They haven't had anything to say since the parents have reported him missing. They haven't reported him missing. They don't seem alarmed. Everything's just normal with this lady and her son. This lady did not inform the family. She didn't reach out. She didn't check. She just went on with her life like normal. Like nothing ever happened. Like Bobby didn't exist, like he was just another black kid missing. Like November 2nd, the family was getting desperate. Like they had been contacting the police, informing them, but nothing was going on. So at this point, the family took matters into their own hands. They began searching for Kawan themselves because the police weren't doing it. Somebody had to find their family member and get justice for him, right? On November 3rd, 4 days after his initial disappearance, Kawan was found. He was found face down in a sugarcane, 20 miles away from Baldwin, 20 miles away from where he left. I want y'all to let that sink in. He left with the white woman 4 days prior, and she has nothing to say about his whereabouts, and he was found 20 miles away, dead in a field, is what you're telling me. And somehow no one saw or knew anything. Please, this woman is suspicious, and this is where it got very bizarre and dark for me, honestly, y'all. Let's keep going. Buckle up, because it's about to get dark, ugly, and messy. So after the police came and took a look at the body, they informed him that Bobby had drowned. Face down in a sugarcane field is where his family found him, mind you. And the police, after all their thorough, I'm sure, police work, have come up with Bobby drowned. Now, I'm not a forensics expert or anything, but just from where the body was located, already to me, this doesn't seem like he drowned. Not at all. So the family sees the autopsy photos and they are mortified. That's the only way I can truly describe They were absolutely horrified because his face was mutilated. His lips were split, and even pieces of his scalp were missing. So this doesn't sound like any drowning death that I've ever heard covered or anything like that. This sounds like reminiscent of a young man by the name of Emmett Till. In my opinion, it's clearly not a case of drowning. This was violent. This was brutal. His parents even said that it was reminiscent of Emmett Till. They even had to leak the photos just to get the media to pay attention. So remember how Emmett Till's mother put his body on display so that everyone could see like what they had done to her baby? That's what this whole thing reminded me of. When poor Emmett Till's mother had to do that to get justice for her baby. In 2020, like, we're still having to do that. Parents had to leak the photos, like, just to get the media's attention. Do you know how insane that is? Of course, the police are still dragging their feet. It's honestly horrible. Like, the more I sit here and think about it, they didn't arrest Janet Irvin. They didn't treat this like it was a potential crime at all. It was just silence. Again, like, this little boy's life didn't matter. Eventually, months later, Janet was charged. Only it wasn't for the murder of Bobby. Not for Bobby's death or anything like that. She was only charged for contributing to the delinquency of a minor and failure to report a missing child. But y'all didn't hop on the case either. You tell me, how does a kid go from being alive and safe in his dad's care to dead in a field and nobody's responsible? Please. Y'all, I'm just gonna blend this out real quick. And I'm not gonna make y'all sit with me to put my lashes on, so I'm gonna do my lashes and then I will return. Okay, lashes are done. Now let's do our base. I have my color correctors, everything's blended out. Now we're gonna get into our base and we're gonna get back into our story. Bobby was quiet and artistic. He loved anime. He was not the type to run off. Like, they were trying to classify him as this juvenile delinquent that was probably out partying and getting into who knows what, and his parents are telling them like, hey, that's not our son's story. There are kids out there like that, but that's not our son's story. And the police they just didn't care. It seems like they just did not care. His family believes that this was racially motivated, because my thing is, even if he was a runaway or a kid that was out gallivanting, is it not still law enforcement's job to protect him? Or do I have that wrong? I mean, say it with me. Black children deserve to be searched for and protected. Black children deserve their cases to be heard. Really, honestly, the feet dragging for me. I want y'all to take a look at Bobby's photo. That's someone's son, someone's baby. He didn't deserve to be treated like this. He didn't deserve to be buried. His story didn't deserve to be buried and not covered. What did happen? His family kept fighting. They got national attention, but unfortunately, still no justice. Whenever I hear about stories like this and things that occur, it always makes me think about it even further, because I'm a mother myself, and my hats always goes off to the moms, because they stay so strong during the process to try to get their baby some justice. And I'm sure that I would too, but just imagining it, I don't think I would. I think I would be somewhere catatonic, honestly. I know I usually pick older cases to cover and usually solved ones, but this one touched me because of what happened, the age of the victim, the fact that it is still open in 2025. There still has been no justice, and this occurred in 2020. So that's why I picked this story, because I feel like Bobby's story deserves to be heard. And I would like for this young man's family to get justice for whoever did this cruel thing to him. With this Bare Minerals setting powder, this is actually my first time using this brand of setting powder. I got it for free at, where did I get this one from? I think Sephora or Ulta. So I'm just going in to set my under eye to prevent any creasing, and then we're gonna bake. It's time to bake. I'm baking with banana yellow setting powder. This is from NYX. And we're gonna let that bake. I'm telling Bobby's story because silence, that's what they want, and we're not giving it to them. This isn't about one case. This is about how the system sees us, how it moves when it's a black child versus literally anyone else. Bobby's life mattered. His death deserves We deserve better from law enforcement and the media. Wounded and Buried exists for kids like Bobby. The ones they try to erase, the ones they ignore. If this story moved you, share it, talk about it, keep Bobby's name, and follow this page. We have so many more stories to uncover. Real victims, real injustice, and real makeup. Final look. I'm your host, Aaliyah, and this has been Blended and Buried.